Hello. So I have wild raspberry hibiscus today. Should be good. I wanted to talk about the basketball player that I dated. Um, he was a professional basketball player in the I think he was in the German circuit or something like that. I don't know, not here. Although he did wind up becoming a pretty good basketball coach here for the colleges, community colleges. Anyway, he's very tall. So, and he had traveled a lot, so we did have a lot to talk about there because we both like to travel. Again, like a very nice guy. We didn't even meet on a dating app. This is why I had such high hopes for him, because we met in the wild. Apparently he saw me walking on the street with my kids one day, and he was like, oh my gosh, that woman is beautiful. But he was in his car and I was walking, and there was just no way for him to come over and talk to me, right? So then he this is such a funny story. So then we just happened to be at Walmart at the same day, and he says that he saw me from across the store and had to come and find me and talk to me. And he kind of did that follow you around down the different aisles weird thing, so that you notice that somebody's watching, but they're not being creepy, but they're just watching, and he's waiting for an opportunity to talk to me, and he decides to talk about shampoo and ask me if I work out and all that normal kind of silly stuff. Good solid guy, works with kids, or at least it seemed like he was good and solid, works with young people. And we dated for a while, 6-7 months maybe. It was never serious. It was never exclusive. It was always in that mode of I wonder if something will come of this or not. But it was always kind of the same thing. We'd have a nice time. There'd be this tension at the end of the date to see if things were going to progress. And then we would just go our separate ways. And he got to the point where it was pretty consistent that he wanted to see me. And I was getting to the point where something needs to move forward here or we're done. And he just kept coming up with excuses to not introduce me to his friends and not show me his place. I had kids, so I don't really have men over to my house for that reason. But we'd known each other long enough that he would sometimes pick me up there, and he knew where I lived and a general idea. I had no idea where he lived. Whenever we met somewhere to take the same car, it would always be in a neutral public location, like a parking lot somewhere. I never had any idea about his personal life. He asked me one time to go see one of the games that he was coaching, and I thought, oh, maybe that would be maybe he is getting ready to meet me, introduce me to somebody. Maybe it is time to actually become exclusive and see where this is gonna go. He pretty much ignored me the entire game. And so I left when it was appropriate and wasn't gonna be an issue. He ran out to say hello but it was just the two of us outside. He made no indication that he wanted me to meet somebody, or I don't know. It was just getting to the point where I felt like he was hiding something. I don't know if he was embarrassed about his living situation. Maybe he didn't live by himself. Maybe he had a roommate and he was embarrassed about that at his age, or my gut says that he was taken, that he was attached and he was trying to get something going on the side and didn't want it to be an issue with his other relationship. So I don't have any proof of that. It's just the fact that we dated for so long and it never went anywhere and nothing ever came of it. And there would be times when he would call and want to talk, and there were other times when I would call and he wouldn't answer me for days. And it kind of seemed like he had somebody else in his life and he was trying to hide whatever might be starting with me. And so I just got to the point of, if you're not gonna actually do something with this connection, if it's not going to move forward, then I'm just going to be done, because this endless in between phase isn't working for me. And it just feels like a waste of time. Like, as much as we have a nice time talking to each other, it seems like a waste of time. So he was pretty upset about that and tried to convince me to keep seeing him and all this stuff. And I wasn't interested. I'd given it enough time and it wasn't going to progress. And he's like, well, I just moved and, there's boxes. And that's not an excuse to not show somebody at least the basic parts of your life. And you've been dating for like 6-7 months. Like, come on. You haven't met anybody. There's something that you're hiding. Whatever it is, it's not good. And I don't need to stick around and find out. So we lost touch for a while. And then one day he texted me some kind of like generic random text. And I still had his number in my phone, which is weird because I don't usually. But I knew it was him. And he made it seem like he was pretending to accidentally text me. But you don't have numbers that you haven't texted in years at the top of your text chain. Like, you're not going to accidentally text somebody that you haven't texted in years. And he's like, I've changed. I'm ready to actually be in a relationship now, and I'd like to try again. I was like, okay, sure. We can go on a date and see what happens. That time around, we dated for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe. It wasn't that long. It was long enough for me to see that it was going to be the same MO. It was the same excuses, the same pattern, all the same stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing this again. You clearly haven't changed. You're not ready. And I get that you like me and I get that you want to be ready, but you're not ready. So I'm not going to waste my time with this weird in-between shit. Like, oh, can I say that on here? I don't know. I'm not going to waste my time. And so I ended it with him again. And he was very upset this time. And that was 2 years ago. And every single holiday he texts me and wishes me a happy whatever. Randomly, he'll ask me how I'm doing. This man is having a conversation with himself. I've deleted his contact number. But my phone still shows me things. Like, I don't block people because then they're like in my phone forever. And I feel like that's giving them space in my life. But I did delete his contact number. But my phone, even if I were to block somebody, my phone still tells me about blocked messages. So it's not like they stop coming. I still see them. They're just in a different folder, so it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I deleted him. But I know it's him just because of like the text history. And I knew his number well enough to know that it was him. He texts me on my birthday. He texts me on all these random holidays. He'll text me randomly in the middle of the night, and he's having a conversation with himself. He keeps wishing me well, and at this point it's sort of comical that he continues to text me. This last Valentine's Day is the first day that he finally did not text me in almost 2 years. And I am just like laughing, but also relieved. But it's also weird that he's finally stopped texting, and it makes me wonder if he's still alive or if he's finally gotten the hint. I don't know. But the fact remains that for almost 2 years, he was having a conversation with himself. And the irony is that he's more communicative when we're not together than he is when we are together, like as far as initiating things. And I hope he grows up. I hope he figures it out. Again, I don't know what he was hiding, but he's clearly not a match for me, so I'm happy with my decision to not continue. I hope he figures it out someday, because he is a nice guy. I just think he has some things that he has to sort through and grow up a little bit, which is weird because he's a little bit older than me, but whatever. We all go through different things in life at different times. But from that, I definitely learned that like, you don't really owe anybody a full explanation of why something's not going to work for you. In the beginning, I tried to take a lot of time explaining why and what my thought process was, and he just wasn't getting it. And I found it more effective to just not answer. Like, just because somebody reaches out to you does not mean that you owe them an answer, especially if you've told them it's over and it's done and you're not interested. You've done your part to communicate. Whether they accept it is their responsibility. I don't have to answer someone who randomly texts me after I told them I wasn't interested in talking anymore. So just let them have the conversation with themselves. It's their life. They can do what they want, you know? They can do what they want.